We alive. They say that your draft is not won in the first round. Then why do we draft our tight ends there? Why don't we
Because
just wait?
some are worthy, or at least one is worthy.
Why don't we just wait? If leagues are won in the mid rounds or later than the mid rounds, why wouldn't we just wait on our tight ends? We will get to all that tonight, right here on the Fantasy Goats YouTube channel. I am your shepherd. How are you? Welcome to this fantastic Tuesday, June 24th. Feels like we've been gone forever. We really have not been, though. Just a little nice extended 4-day break vacation, so to speak. Well, not really a vacation for myself. I don't know if JX had a vacation, but we know the commissioner had himself a vacation.
Yes.
Welcome back, Commissioner Rhino, fresh from Scotfish Bowl, Las Vegas.
Oh man, that was a hell of an experience, man. And goats, I'm telling you, if you have a chance to go to a live draft in anywhere, but especially Vegas, do it, man. Do it. Do it. It's,
it,
it's
it,
well worth it, man.
it legit looks like a absolute grand slam of a time. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Just and
It's
that's
hard.
just
It's hard to have a bad time at the stadium swim with, I'll just leave it at that.
well. I'd love for you to elaborate.
But just that song, the thong 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 thong, that was
well,
that was the theme song, man.
well, we're glad you made it back in one piece. It sounds like you were occupied
I
most of
didn't
the
have a
time.
yeah
So yeah,
yeah. I get slapped for goggling or googling at young chicks, so I'm good, man.
There was it was a plus money bet that you were not going to make it back in one piece. If you were going to take if you wanted to risk more money on the bet that you were coming back in one piece, you wound up actually winning some money. But the plus money bet was not coming in. The dog money was not coming in. The rhino and the donkey made it back in one piece. I'm glad he had a fantastic time. I
Yeah,
really
there's some
am. I
really
mean,
really really cool people, man.
a great experience, doing a great thing for a great cause. I mean, in Las Vegas. I mean, there's not much else you can really say about it. Yeah, shit. The pictures look amazing. The pictures paint everything that you need to
Yeah,
know.
big time.
Everything you need to know. JX Fantasy, how are you on this fantastic Heat Wave Tuesday? I'm
oh
not sure.
man,
You have,
tell me about it. It doesn't matter where you are. It's hot.
yeah.
It's hot.
It's
Doesn't matter
not
where.
here. We're
It's
in the
not.
80s right now.
Man, look, it's hot down here. It's hot in the Northeast. It's
um,
hot.
we're,
But
we're,
yeah, no, like always, man. I'm blessed to be here, and we're talking about my favorite position. So
Really?
oh yeah, this is everyone says the mid. Like you said, this is mid rounds. That's where you won. No, you win by picking the right tight end. You pick
I
the
agree.
right tight end. You don't have to worry week to week what you're gonna do.
yeah, I don't know. There's a couple of reasons why I don't really enjoy the position. We could get into that in a little bit. We will go through the top 12, maybe beyond that. We'll see how far we get along those 12 tight end positions. Whether we'll smash them in our upcoming drafts or if we're going to pass them, depending on where they are falling, depending on where their current ADP is right now. We'll get into that in just a second, folks. I do want to remind everybody just watching this stream, this video for the first time, please give us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. We are working on our sub goal of 400 by training camp. Training camp is in 1 month, plus or minus a few days. But training camp is right around the corner. From there, we're right into the season.
Yeah, right in the preseason. Yeah.
2025 season, where we get to see all these tight ends. But yeah, let's get into it. I mean, I feel like it is the most volatile, unpredictable position. Right. Why? Because they run routes. That's why, in a nutshell. They run routes like the wide receivers run routes. They're not as fast as wide receivers. Wide receivers get open at higher frequency, at higher rates than tight ends. But that's not to say that the best tight ends, some of the elite tight ends, which we're going to get into in just a few moments, they get open too. Or I should specifically say, Sniper Mel, how are you? I should specifically say that the tight ends that get good target share or are the top target earners on their teams. Now you can make a better case for perhaps drafting a tight end in a higher round. If Trent McBride is going to see the highest percentage of his team's targets and not their wide receivers, then he de facto kind of sort of becomes that team's wide receiver. I mean, like it's kind of crazy as that is. Same situation that occurred with Brock Bowers. If he got it, I'm pretty sure he got the Raiders. He had the highest target
He
share
did.
amongst all Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, so you can make those cases, and henceforth, that's why these guys are going high in their drafts, right, Sniper? Now, for our purposes today, we're not going to add the extra premium, right? We do recognize, obviously, there's a lot of leagues, especially if they're formed via X, via Sleeper, maybe a combination of two. Yes, we recognize a lot of the charities, the best ball charities, so on and so forth. The Fantasy Goats, which is not a charity. We actually we do put premiums on the tight end, but for the mass audience, most leagues do not have a tight end premium. They don't give you an extra half a point or an extra two points in some cases. Craziness. All right, so let's start off. Rhino. What do you think about Mr. Brock Bowers going as the tight end one in
I, I
2025?
I love Brock Bowers. I'm not taking him in the first round. I don't think his value is right there. Now, if I'm on the back end of the first round and the swing round, the second round, and I might not have a better option, then I'll take Brock Bowers.
Your swing round being the 1-2 turn,
Yeah.
which is exactly where Brock Bowers had gone in this draft, which is live, by the way, Goats. We are staring at a live redraft, the Fantasy Goats Invitational Redraft League, League 5 out of 6. Brock Bowers did go with that 1-2 turn in the second round. Pick 2.2.
Yeah.
JX, could you make the case for Brock Bowers? Are you drafting him any higher than that? Would you? Dare I call it a reach? I would consider it a reach, but many people are going to draft Brock Bowers at 1.10 or maybe even 1.9 because
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
go ahead. So you're
Yeah. No, I
you're
mean,
gonna smash him there.
if this is the easiest smash that there is. I mean, this is probably the only most definite smash of today. We're talking about tight ends. Everyone else is an elevator, but Brock Bowers is as consistent as it gets. I mean, number one in tight end scoring last year. I mean, in total, he's number 9 ranking among wide receivers in total points for the whole season. So for me, if I'm on that 1.8 to 112, I will definitely consider it. Unless someone falls out of there, I'm talking about like if I don't see Chase Neighbors, Bijan, Justin Jefferson in that range, then I'm definitely probably taking Brock Bowers over the rest.
It doesn't bother either one of you at all that Geno Smith for his
That's
for his
so
Seahawks career, mind you, because I mean, anything before that wasn't a really good sample at all.
they're yeah they're I think there's gonna be a little bit of a dip, a
A
little bit
dip.
of a dip in his numbers this year. Just for the fact that you have actually a real OC with Chip Kelly, who knows how to use weapons, and you have added weapons around them with Ashton Genty, who's going to get probably passes out of the backfield that might those would go into Bowers. You have they drafted some really good rookies with Jack Bush and Deontay Foreman or Thornton, and then plus Mr. Reliable Jacoby Meyer. So their defense, I mean their offense is set better this year than last year.
I would only be concerned if he was an actual tight end, but he's not.
Oh, I
He's
know, I
not.
understand that because they
He's
can use
a
them.
he's
They
a
can use
tight
them.
end. He's their slot wide receiver. He's their wide back. He could potentially play fullback. He could potentially play running back. He could potentially take wildcat quarterback snaps. If this was Sam Laporta coming off his number one tight end season, yeah, I think there's cause for concern. But I think Brock Bowers is going to be the tight end one for the next 9 years. So I just
Wow,
don't see the drop off for him.
there will be a drop off though. There's always a drop off, especially with added weapons. You know, and not knowing really how Chip Kelly's going to use them. I trust Chip Kelly is going to use them like that. Use them in the slot, use them in the backfield and like that. But how much so? Especially because just the fact that they drafted Ashton Genty and he can catch the ball in the backfield. So a lot of stuff last year they had to use him like that because he was their best damn weapon.
Look at weeks 5 through 7. An insane amount of targets, and then again weeks 11 through 13. Again, just like my God, it was like so hyper targeted. So I mean, the dude had a fantastic rookie season. I'm kind of in the Rhino camp almost by default. That based on the fact of a couple of unproven rookie weapons that might get added into the mix. Sure, you still got Jacoby Myers. Absolutely, you can't discount that for what it's worth. And then what have we been saying on several previous shows regarding, like, okay, well, where's all the targets going to Jacoby Myers or to one of the rookies if we also have to factor in Ashton Genty's
Mm.
you know 2025 outlook. So it's like something. I'm gonna say it again. Something until I can see it, which is not going to be till September through January. Until I can see how they're going to work this entire offense. I mean, right now we're banking on this dude getting over 20 carries or over 20 touches. We're banking on this dude getting around 8 to 9 targets. We're banking on this dude to get 8 to 9 targets. This might go down as one of the best offenses in the entire league.
And add this to the fact that, like you said, they have Geno Smith now. They have a freaking quarterback. They don't have Minshew. They don't have AOC. They don't have freaking Ritter. You know, who had to check down and check down and check down and check down. So that Geno Smith won't have to do that much. So I'm still taking him in the second round. He's still tight end one to me, but I, if there's other options at the very end of between 8 and 12, I'll probably take those options and then get him on a swing around.
Yeah, again, I mean, like, look, you also you whether he does have some sort of decline due to a dip in production, I think that we'll be able to, again, my strategy, we'll be able to get a tight end in a later round that may not be that far off in total fantasy points from
We
Brock
can't
Bowers.
though. We can't though.
All
We
right.
we literally can't. There's only three guys that we'll get to them that make all the difference. You can't wait to the later rounds and think, oh, we're gonna find one. Brock Bowers is the only. You remember the old infomercial with the? I don't remember if it was the George Foreman grill or the one of the other grills. It was set it and forget it. That's Brock Bowers. You're putting him at tight end, and you don't think twice, and you just let him go through the whole season. I'll let our shepherd here fumble with Mason Taylor and Laporta and all the other tight ends he's playing with every week.
I think even Laporte is going a little bit too high for me still. I'm serious. There are still, I mean, I will mess around with some of these other guys in the later rounds, of course. I mean, we've got a former tight end 1 or tight end 2 that's now going in the 8th round. We'll get to Mark Andrews a little bit later. Let's get to Trey McBride, who's going basically right after Brock Bowers. If you don't get Brock Bowers, obviously he's the next tight end off the board. Trey McBride led his team in target share. Almost like I'm pretty sure he was top 10 in targets altogether. You gonna draft him in the 2nd round? Trey McBride. That's where Trey McBride's going.
I've passed on him a couple of drafts just because the players are right there for me. I'll take a RB1 or a wide receiver 1.
2nd in receiving yards per game. Yeah, he ranked.
Before I'll take Trey McBride.
Yeah, Trey McBride is a little bit more is a little tougher decision for me because I just think Marv's going to have a great season. I just think we're talking about a decline. I think there's a natural decline for Trey. I still think Trey's going to be a big part of the offense, but it's time for Marv to show us that he's a wide receiver 1, and I need that target share that Trey got last year is going to be shifted to Marv.
There'll be a shift, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So last season I had Trey McBride in a few different spots. One of them happens to be that Scott Fishbowl that Rhino just finished drafting, or still in the middle, but drafted live the first 10 rounds. Last season was a bit different. He definitely outperformed his ADP. I had Trey McBride also in this FantasyGoats Invitational. Again, that was a 3rd round draft pick, and also because it was a premium on the position. Now, based on the season that he had, with still not a lot of touchdowns. My God, are we waiting for that regression, by the way, to kick in? Now he's going at a much higher price. Now he's going at a higher ceiling. I wouldn't take Trey McBride at this spot either. I would pass on Trey McBride here. Again, I'm not in a camp that most are in. Where if you think, okay, I want to have a tight end that's going to outperform on a weekly basis your tight end, then you're going to want to go get Brock Bowers, and you want to go get Trey McBride, and you're going to want to go get a tight end high like Kittle's. If you want on a weekly basis, you want to be able to have that position beating up your opponent's position. I'm in the camp that I'd rather have my tight end lose by a little bit on a weekly basis to your tight end, but yet my 2nd round pick is going to smack that tight end on a weekly basis. That's my camp. But we're on Fantasy Pros, Sniper, I'm on Fantasy Pros. I'm sure the commissioners using Fantasy Pros. We're using Fantasy Pros. And I'm also on Sleeper. We're looking at the League 5 draft. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, Trey McBride, I feel like, is going at a higher price, even if he does score a few more touchdowns, which we kind of expected to, for the love of God. But if we're also hear me out. If we're expecting Marvin Harrison to get more targets and more catches, then it's going to have to come off somewhere else. That's my thinking there. Does that sound right to you guys?
Yeah. No, this is a tough position because I know we all want.
Yes, it is a tough position.
Every year we want things to happen, and we think that they're going to go a certain way. And this one is just one that is, I feel like, 4 or 5 months from now, we're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like how is Trey still getting this target percentage, and how is Marv still getting the same targets? I would
That
hate for anybody to be in that situation.
you're 100% right about that. Just because the proof was in the pudding, look how it was last year with Kyler Murray. I mean, unless they, and we talked about this, they get the right routes for Marvin, that might happen.
Yeah,
You know,
Which is
that's what I see. That's what sucks sometimes too, is the fact that it's not just you have to just think about the quarterback or a wide receiver, but you got to think about the with OC is and
yeah,
everything too, because that plays a lot. A
exactly.
lot.
okay. Well, here's one offensive coordinator that has not changed for this tight end. That would be George Kittle's Skittles. He happened to have finished tight end 1, but he's now tight end 3 heading into 2025. That's, again, a lot of it has to do with what we're projecting for Bowers, what we're projecting for McBride. That's how they're ranked. That's why they're ranked ahead of George Kittle. But George Kittle finished as a tight end 1 on a fantasy points per game basis, weekly basis. And George Kittle, I'll be honest with you, he would be the tight end in a high round, meaning 1, 2, 3, maybe fourth round. If I can get George Kittle in them, if George Kittle is there for me in the fourth round, I may take a stab at that. He
Yeah.
seems to be the most consistent. We have a much better body of work on him than we do with, let's say, a rookie, last season's rookie Bowers. We've got a good sample with Trey McBride now, but George Kittle, we have a good body of work with. I would draft him fourth round, depending on again. I say that now, goats. I do. I'm trying to talk myself into it. But if it's a regular PPR, it's going to be difficult for me to draft George Kittle when I could be taking shit. Just for example, if Higgins fell in the fourth round here,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no way on God's green fantasy earth I would take Kittle over Higgins at that point.
No.
A couple of quarterbacks went in the third round, then Kittle went in the third round. So yeah, I mean, because this is a premium, it may not be the best example to be working off of, looking at, but still. JX, smashing George, Curious George, or are we gonna pass on him?
I'm actually passing on George Kittle. I think
Age?
I think he regresses to what he probably should have been like last year. Because they have more weapons to throw to, and I think he's going to go back to the 1 week having 18 points, and then the next week having 2, and then
Yep.
he'll have 20, and then he'll have 2. I think he goes back to that just from however the game plan is. He won't be as targeted as much. So I'm passing on him just for my health, and so that I don't have to take Tylenol on Sundays. I'm passing on George Kittle.
I'm passing too.
I gotta take some Tylenol.
I'm passing. I think they're going to use him a lot more in the blocking situation too, because their old line isn't very good. So
Exactly.
they're going to have to protect.
Good point. Good point.
And plus the fact that CMC's there, so CMC's going to get the targets, some of the targets that he got last year too. And like you said, they have added weapons.
Yeah, I'm kind of not buying the more blocking take. And because that the receiving core isn't they're okay, like with the exception of Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings has been there for now 5 years. Brandon Ayuk's hurt. I think they're going to want to utilize George Kittle as much as possible in the passing game. Again, he seems to be the most reliable until Brandon Ayuk gets back to full strength, full health, and all indicators right now on the 24th is that he's going to start off on PUP.
Mm-hmm.
So we could be waiting till mid-season for him to like at least getting a full complement of snaps. I mean, there's no telling whether he gets back to full strength or not. But at the same, I think that's why I'm kind of buying into George Kittle. He's going to be asked to block Rhino. Would you agree with this? I would agree. This is what I could say with George Kittle. I think all of them must block
Oh
down
yeah.
as receivers, as guys that run out. I don't think he's going to be asked to block any more than a tight end would have to block if they were staying in on a run play.
Well,
I don't.
maybe
I
Even pass plays, I think he's
yeah.
going
Yeah, I think that's what you're referring to more so on passing plays
to.
because their O line is so bad that they're going to be. I'll tell you this: every week against LA, he's going to need to block. I'm going to tell you that for sure. So that's 2 weeks right there that George Kittle's not going to be as effective as
That's that. Yeah, so I'm on record that that's a complete mismatch. I don't think Shanahan would do that. I don't. I think you rather get him and CMC out in the flat if Purdy's getting the heat with a bad offensive line before having Kittle stay in to block on a pass play.
They got to protect their boy though. They just paid him a bunch of money.
Then they better get their offensive line together because if you again if you're asking George Kittle to stay in more on pass block, then you're taking a weapon away. That's all. It might happen. It may not happen. It might.
And Sniper Mel, he went in the late first, early second, I believe.
Ooh.
No,
Ooh.
CMC. I know.
Even well, much different scoring than any league. But that's no different than where CMC's going now.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Mel.
He went late first, huh? Still late first or early second?
Late first, early second.
That's exactly where he's going now.
Yep.
Amazing. Ultimate dice roll, right? It's the ultimate dice roll. Yeah. So George Skill, tight end 3, off the board, rightfully so. Third round, I'm skittish. Fourth round, I'm getting a little bit warmer to that. I'm warmer to that.
If he's here in the fifth round, I'm warm to that in the fifth round. But third or fourth, no.
Well, Sniper, didn't you say that you were sick of him sitting on your bench all of last season? Like you had to watch him on your bench. That's why you're not taking him this year. Because she goes on one show. Yeah, he was on my bench long enough. I could just see it, like with the hand motion and everything in my head. Like I'm sick of seeing him on my bench. Then don't do it. If you have any trepidation about taking CMC because of health, then it's an easy choice to pass on him.
Or any player at that.
If you're ready to roll the dice because he may pay off in a huge way, then you have to just like bite the bullet and take him. It's as simple as that with this situation. Simple as that. Sammy Ballgame, Sam Laporta. We were supporters. I still am a supporter. He's starting to go now in the mid round. Fourth round, fifth round. Sam Laporta is tight end 4. Are you warming up to his ADP now, Rhino? Is he a smash or is he a pass in the fourth?
I think I'm passing. Just,
of course, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm passing. Just the weapons there, and it digressed a little bit. I don't know what this new season going to look like. I know there's reports like we talked about in Jameer Gibbs that you're going to try to get him more isolation spots like Gibbs and James Williams, but no, I'm passing. There's I mean, a lot of times in the fifth round, I'm drafting my first quarterback too, fourth or fifth round, or sixth round too. It depends how the draft is laying out for me. So I'm going to take one of those positions first before I take Sam Porter. There's nothing against him. It's just that's just it's the volume thing. If I know one player's getting more volume than he's going to get, then I'm going to pick that player.
JX, what if you went heavy wide receiver round 1, round 2, round 3? Maybe you took Chase Brown. Now it's round 4. And you're not really loving the wide receivers right now in around where you're picking. Would you go ahead and take tight end 4 as opposed to wide receiver 25? I mean, it's kind of like a compelling case.
It wouldn't be for me. The ADP that we just mentioned for Laporta being so similar to Kittle, this is an easy pass for me. He doesn't even have the upside that I believe Kittle has. Like last year, because I had a lot of stake in Kittle, not Kittle, but in Laporta last year. He was at like 10% target share for majority of the season before he kind of just took off there at the end. And I can't take a tight end that high who, if you're throwing the ball 30 times, he only getting three chances at it.
Yeah.
So I can't take him at that ADP. I can wait a little bit longer for someone else that could be just as good or better.
I mean, he in one fewer game, 40 less targets, 26 less receptions. Yeah, got 100 less yards, 3 less touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, look, it's right here. In one less game, he had a lot more touchdowns in his rookie season. Three more touchdowns in his rookie season. He had damn near 40 more targets and 26 more catches. A little over 100 more yards. I mean, I guess he was. I think we could say that he was kind of playing a little banged up too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think what happened last year compared to the year before was the fact that Jameson Williams turned it up.
Yeah, all right.
Exactly. And that should have scared me, but I just, as I remember, doing this study last year, like I was like, should we really still be in on like Sam Laporta as a tight end 1 for 2024? Because I'm like, well, he didn't even get enough like target and to get 1,000 yards. That should have kind of scared me away, but I didn't care. I still pushed through because I was such in love with the Detroit Lions offense. I was like, okay, I'm taking Sam Laporta here. I'm taking Sam Laporta here. I'm taking Sam Laporta here. But if you're not getting 1,000 yards as a tight end, it should be pretty hard for you to remain like in that tier 1 of tight ends.
Yeah, I agree. And Mel, the only stack I was able to do was Dak Prescott and George Pickens because I was getting sniped left and right, man.
That's what I think of this. Yeah. Dak. Well, Dak. I expect Dak to have a pretty good season, actually. I don't know about George Pickens. I think George Pickens is going to run a lot of cardio. That's what I think. But let's get back to tight ends. Let's save George, Curious George, for another day. Yeah, I think that if Williamson, whatever his name is, continues to ascend, there's just so much ball to go around in an offense that I expect to regress as a whole. Yeah. And if we don't think that Jared Goff is going to be able to put up the same numbers because his offensive coordinator is now with the Bears, yeah, this could be another either down season or it could be just flat. And if it's flat, he's not going to. Then we're not playing the game right, as far as I'm concerned. We want someone in the 4th round to at least outperform that ADP. We're not always going to get it, square on the head each round, but I mean, now we're getting into some serious rounds. Serious rounds where we need to make some really serious, as educated guesses as possible for the GOATs. Oh, here's a tricky one. This whole tier, again, to be honest with you, this tier is kind of tricky. This tier's got now T.J. Hawkinson,
Okay.
Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, ladies and gentlemen, Sniper's fave, Travis Kelce, Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, actually, for the season that he had, is now ranked 8th. It's exactly where he belongs, if not less. Evan Ingram ranked 9th. David Njoku ranked 10th. I think that's a joke. Based on his numbers last season, Rhino, right?
Mm-hmm.
David Njoku should be ranked higher than this.
But
let's get to T.J. Hawkinson.
I love T.J. Hawkinson.
So that's a big smash.
Yeah. I mean, last year he had an off year. He had 41 catches, 455, 0 touchdowns. But he is also coming back off that bad leg injury. Year before he had 95 catches for almost 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns. What do we always say? I know McCarthy is not a rookie, but this is his first year starting, and the tight end is generally the rookie's best friend. So I'm all in. I'm all in on Hawkinson.
I could subscribe to that. Yeah. I can. I could kind of subscribe to that. What I don't subscribe to is like this Vikings offense being as prolific as it was with Sam Darnold, as it was with Kirk Cousins. I do not expect that. I don't care I don't care what kind of wizard Kevin O'Connell is. I do expect J.J. McCarthy's ceiling to get capped at some point. As a rookie, yes, sir. As you pointed out, Rhino, he's technically not a rookie, but yeah, it's his first professional. Sure. It's his first professional season playing football in a big boy league. JX, is this a smash or a pass?
Yeah, this is a smash. We're talking about KLC here. If there's any KLC player that we're talking about, it's a smash. T.J. Hawkinson, I believe 2 years ago was tight end 5, I think. Yeah, it's a pretty easy selection here with the value that you're getting him at. And like Ron said, man, we're talking about the rookie quarterback's best friend. The first read, the easiest one, to look out for. I mean, he did the same thing at Michigan too. I mean, Colston Loveland is extremely talented, but he was looking at Colston Loveland and then Roman Wilson second. So, the sooner you get the ball out, the easier it will be for him to succeed.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So like his first read, we know who that is, but it's no sure thing that he's not going to look to Jordan Addison as his second read. No, I think it would be T.J. Hawkinson in most cases, most situations. If not, specialized, designed plays with just T.J. Hawkinson in mind as a first read to get the ball out of his hands, get it out quickly. End zone types of plays for T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I can.
And plus, I think he's better used in from the line of scrimmage to 20 yards downfield, and then from that point, then I think Addison's stronger from that point on, from past the 20, and Jefferson is just strong everywhere. Doesn't really matter with him. But if you look at Addison, a lot of Addison's protectors, they were deeper.
6th round, 6.5. Travis Kelce went, then Xavier Worthy, then Isaiah Pacheco, then Chris Godwin, and then T.J. Hawkinson. So Godwin, Pacheco, Worthy, Travis Kelce all went prior to T.J. Hawkinson. I think I would have taken I would have felt a hell of a lot more comfortable taking T.J. Hawkinson where Travis Kelce was taken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would have pulled the trigger on him over Travis Kelce for sure. Well, while we have Mr. Swift, are you draft JX? Is this someone that you want to put a bet in on? I mean, is Travis Kelce going to be your tight end for 17 weeks, riding him right to glory, riding him to the ship? I mean, is this someone that we could bank on?
Yeah, this is the farewell season. This
This
remind
this is the
this
farewell
reminds
tour.
me.
This
Yeah,
is,
it is. It's farewell tour. Farewell tour. Yeah,
it
but
is
this
the
reminds me of like
farewell
Tony
tour.
Gonzalez.
It's
Tony
Eris.
Gonzalez's last
It's
season.
the Eris tour.
This is probably Tony Gonzalez's last season, like his last hoorah. I mean, I don't know if people forget or not, and I think it's because of age. Everyone's afraid of age, but Travis Kelsey was 3 catches short of 100 last year.
Yeah.
You think he's not going to get close to that again? I mean, he's still one of the focal points of this offense, even with Rasheed Rice coming back. He's still going to be very important. I still see him getting up to that 75 to 80 catch mark and being really productive for the Chiefs. It's a definite smash for me. Maybe a little bit later though, maybe like round 7. Hopefully, people getting a little bored and go, "I'm not taking Travis Kelsey, but I'll take him in round 7 for sure."
I've gotten him in round 9 in one draft.
Oh yeah, like that, yeah.
So
Like,
yeah,
give me
I'm,
that every
I'm
day.
nagging. I'm smashing Kelsey.
Round 9, I would smash that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have a problem with that in round 9 either. What about
7, 8, 9, I'm smashing him. Just like JX said, he's Mr. Reliable. You know, he's going to get you points. It might be frustrating at times because they might come late in the game, but
It
he's
still
still going
counts.
to get you. Yeah, he's still going to get you points because if you think about it too, is the fact that he's one of Mahomes' favorite targets, especially in the 2-minute drill when they need to get points, when they need to get downfield. So he can get freaking 6 catches in 3 series or 2 series,
Mm-hmm.
for 75 yards, maybe a touchdown.
there are some out there that think that Mahomes is going to erupt this season. That he's just out for blood. That it's going to be the air raid Patrick Mahomes Kansas City Chiefs offense again. As soon as they get Rashee Rice onto the field with Xavier Worthy, with Travis Kelsey, doesn't matter who's in the backfield, it's going to be lights out.
I,
But then where does that leave Travis Kelsey? Just we know it's going to be the underneath stuff. I mean, that part we know.
right.
But what if it's really like the air raid stuff with Xavier Worthy and Hollywood on the other side? While,
Then
while, the, other,
that
while the other
opens,
two are operating, of course.
that opens up more for him.
Yeah. I was gonna say, gives them the 5-yard catches. I don't know Rasheed Rice.
Yeah.
I know Rasheed Rice is all about that game because I mean, I still have him catching slants against the Ravens in my nightmares, but Travis Kelsey will be there to catch those too. So yeah, I hope it's Kansas City Speedway, in Arrowhead. I hope so. That makes it easy for Travis Kelsey.
I mean, again, for all intents and purposes, I mean, like, look, it's now brand Travis Kelsey going in the 6th round. Like, this could very well be one of those, okay, ADP smash.
Mm-hmm.
When this is all said and done, come late December, early January, this would be like he far exceeded this ADP. So yeah, this could be very well one of these great values, Travis Kelsey goats. But I got one that I like better. That I'm not so worried about air raid.
Evan Ingram, right?
No,
Nope. Who?
I'm not giving away any trade secrets here tonight, right, Sniper? We're not giving away trade secrets.
Mm-hmm.
I got another Mr. Reliable who is like the second target earner on his team and touchdown earner on his team. That would be Mr. Mark Andrews. JX is shaking his head. Rhino shaking his head. What's wrong with Mark Andrews? He's a worrier. He had a bad drop, but we shouldn't fall. He's got bad ADP because of a bad drop.
No, I think he has bad ADP because of his age, for one thing.
His age.
And at some point, they're gonna have to start freaking getting the damn ball to Zay Flowers.
Not in this offense. This offense.
I'm not touching
this offense.
Then also just the fact that sometimes they throw 3 tight ends out there. You have Likely, I think the other guy's name was Cotter, and then Andrews. Andrews spent a lot of time blocking and then going out.
You see who?
So it's unreliable. I don't know who. There's too many tight ends to go around. So it's a trap shot. I mean, it's a trap shoot every week with him. It's like having Zay Flowers on your team. He can have 5 catches and 75 yards one game and 2 catches and 13 yards. I don't want that kind of stress in my life.
Look,
Also, with that comes the touchdown regression. He's not having it. He's not going to get 11 touchdowns again.
Mm-mm.
That's what carried him. I mean, remember the jokes we had at the beginning of the last year when he was, you know, zero spot, another zero spot, and you know, I bet you we had some weeks
yeah,
where
no,
like,
no, it was.
is it time to drop Mark Andrews? We're over here like in like, yeah, is it time to draft Mark Andrews? I've drafted him with my fourth overall or in the fourth round. I'm not going to draft. I'm not going to drop him. But hey, we had that conversation last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
you're 100% correct. Weeks 1 through 5, it was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath, but then it like overcorrected. It normalized.
Mm-hmm.
Week 6, week 7, tight end 3, tight end 3. Week 8, tight end 10. Week 9 was shitty. Week
But
10, week 10, no, week 9 was shitty. Week 10, he was tight end 2, and yeah, there's a lot of touchdowns in there.
yeah, look at that touchdown streak is it's one of a kind. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row, one off week, another touchdown, another off week beforehand, and then 4 touchdowns in 3 weeks. I mean, he was scoring. He was scoring. I don't see him scoring that many touchdowns again.
I think no, he probably won't score that many touchdowns again, but I think that he's still a great value for. I still wouldn't have a problem taking him in a 7th or 8th round and backing him up, by the way. So yes, in a sense, I am kind of a tight end guy because I don't really like this man. I don't like any of them. So what would I do? I would go in on someone else a little bit later and play that game that causes JX to take Tylenols. Yes, that's what I would, and that's what I would do, and hope that maybe Tyler Warren winds up being like the next prodigal tight end son. Dalton Kincaid, who you could get for free these days.
I
So
got
that's
him
what
in
I'm
the
talking
I
about.
got him in the 12th round. The Scott Fish Bowl.
Which
12th
one?
round.
Which one? Dalton?
Yeah, Dalton Kincaid.
No, Sniper says nobody will snipe me on Andrews. That's not true. That's not true. There's plenty of people that like Mark Andrews.
I might just do it just on purpose now.
Let's not forget. Lamar trusts Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they run a lot of their offense runs through the tight end. Now, granted, I understand some of the pushback that you mentioned before with it's Isaiah Likely is getting on the field. Isaiah Likely seems to be more athletic. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, I kind of feel like this offense is tailor-made with their tight ends, and it's a well-oiled machine. It's
But
tailor-made.
maybe they're going to open it up more the second year going into the Todd Monken's offensive system.
I don't see it. I don't see it for this reason. I don't think that they feel like that's the part that's broken. I think that if they thought that the offense was the part that was broken, I think they would have spent more time and resources on offense in free agency and in the draft, where they just did everything either on the line or in their secondary.
Well, because their line was a little bit weakest.
Yeah, no. So that's why I don't think they feel that there's anything wrong with what they have in terms of their wide receiver room. Obviously, their running back. They have their tight ends. I don't think they feel that there's anything wrong with what they put on in terms of their product on the field in offense. Any hoot. Now let's get to a really special individual. His name is Jonnu. That's short for Jonathan. No, it's not. His name is Jonnu Smith for the Dolphins. He's coming in at 8. His ADP, for someone who spiked last season out of nowhere, Rhino, are you in the Jonnu camp? Are you a smashed Jonnu, or are you passing on Jonnu? Jonnu is a 9th round ADP in this latest league. It's live right now.
I'm passing. I don't think he's gonna.
Me
It's
too.
gonna be the same as last year because a lot of those games was Hill was hurt or a little bit off, and then Waddle was a little bit off, and you had Skylar Thompson, you had Scoots McGillicuddy, who were, at quarterback. So no, I'm not. I'm not taking Jonnu Smith. I think that was um, a one-off last year.
I'll say it for you. It's a fluke.
Okay, say it. Yep, it was a fluke.
It is a fluke. Like I don't care how faster they really want to get the ball out of Tua's hands. That's not the answer to get it to your tight end in the flat all the time. I think that they want to get the ball out of his hands and hopefully, fingers crossed, that it's with Tyreek Hill and and Waddle. That's where the speed is on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Not Jonnu Smith. So yes, I think that season that he had is a fluke, and I think the ADP reflects that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in their right mind doesn't believe that he's going to have the same season.
Yeah, that's kind of right where I'm with it too. Like we don't have Jonnu Smith posters on the side of the stadium. We don't have Jonnu Smith in the program. The guys we have on the trading cards and on the hats and on the jerseys is number 10 and number 17. It was a nice season, Jonnu Smith, but we gotta start throwing the ball to the guys we pay a whole lot of money to. So yeah, I think the regression is going to happen naturally there.
If they were so into him, then why was he on the trading block with the Steelers too?
Exactly, another thing. He's there. They said to him without saying to him, "You're expendable. You are expendable."
He could be a cut candidate too. We don't know.
Jonnu Smith. He's not on any of the cups.
Nope.
That you take home with you.
You don't come. Listen, you don't come to the game for the Jonnu Smith T-shirt giveaway. You don't.
No Jonnu Smith bobbleheads.
Yeah, there's no Jonnu Smith foam fingers. There's not.
No.
This is a team historically speaking. I mean, before McDaniel, they were never like tight end centric. They were never tight end centric prior to this season with Jonnu. I remember, they got rid of Mike Gesicki. There was a couple others that people were floating around during like the off season, like, oh, maybe this is it, maybe this is the time, and I can't think. Of course, I can't. Mike Gesicki comes to mind before he got shipped out. Yeah, no, it's not the Jonnu Smith Stadium. No, definitely not. Let's get to 2-3 others. Let's get to one of my guys, or is it one of my guys? Evan Joker Ingram.
I love Evan Ingram.
That's who we have to worry about, Sniper.
I'm smashing him. Smashing. Just the fact that Peyton came out and said that we're going to use him as a joker, we're going to move him all around. That just tells me something. They know what they have in him, and they know how to use him. No, I'm smashing. It's funny because this year I probably have more faith in the later round tight ends than I do in some of the earlier round tight ends.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Evan Ingram, I think is a very safe pick. But I wouldn't say safe because I think he has some serious upside too. I mean, this is another tight end out of the few tight ends that we have that have also caught 100 passes in one season before. So he knows how to kind of take that workload on. And just looking by their wide receiver core, we all want to try to speculate Pat Bryant might be, some crazy rookie that, may explode in Denver. But the answer could be Evan Ingram all along.
Yep.
Not Marvin Mims and definitely not Cortland Sutton. But like I said, the answer could be Evan Ingram right in front of our face.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just working off of the 2023 stats. Last season was a throwaway, but even before he went out, Trevor Lawrence was still relying on him as his first read or his go-to. But in 2023, He damn near had 143 targets and 114 catches.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
He knows how to run routes. He knows how to get open. Like,
The
granted,
touchdown
not
things. That's
gra-
the
granted, he doesn't necessarily have the greatest nose for the end zone, but that may not be his fault. It may not be his fault at all. And who knows what Sean Payton dials up for the tight end, for the joker in this situation. I mean, yes, I think this could be, again, for this pick, this late, this round, I think this could be a home run.
this is since Jimmy Graham from the Saints days.
Jimmy Graham, I mean, I'm in on it. I'm in on it. This is who I would want in a late round draft. I think this is someone that could not be, again, that far off from a Trey McBride, not be that far off from Kittles, not that far off. So yeah, I'll give you them ranked ahead of Evan Ingram when it's all said and done, but it won't be by much as far as I can say, as far as I can predict, as far as I believe in my fantasy bones.
I mean, honestly, man, he could finish tight end too. That's not crazy to say.
No,
He could, like, he really could. He finished tight end 2 years ago, right? I mean, it's not crazy to say. He had 114 catches. That's a lot.
I'm here for it. How about David and Joke? David and Joke, right, 10th. I don't understand. See, again, this is someone who a good season, and you've got guys that are. He had 5 times. Yeah, he missed some games. He missed games. That's the problem.
and plus the quarterback position, and plus they drafted Harold Fandon.
Mhm.
I think Harold Fandon's going to take some targets from him, and I just don't trust the quarterbacks there. I mean, who's going to be? I forgot who his numbers were better with Flacco than they were with Winston, I believe, last year.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good for Njoku.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to. Who's the quarterback for the team? I think regardless, they're trying to run the ball 60 times a game. I think if even they're down by 14 points, they're trying to run the football. But I just don't think that we have the same kind of upside with Davis and Njoku as we did before, even with Flacco, because we can get really high on them, and then we get a midweek news report that Shador's starting now, and I'm definitely all the way off on Njoku if Shador starts. I don't know if they had a tight end in Colorado. So
Shadori.
They did, but they didn't throw to him.
Shadori's going to need his tight end. Same principle applies, right? You want that
But they had Dylan
quarterback,
Sampson
rookie
to
quarterback.
take those targets, and they have Harold Fandon.
Shadori. Harold Fanning is a good tight end. Okay, he's good, but he
might be good. We don't know for sure.
Right. We know what we have in Njoku. This is an athletic dude. He's been in the league for a while. This guy, when he's healthy, his problem is that he's really healthy for a full season. He's a pretty good tight end. He's been a above decent tight end, and according to Sniper, he also smells good.
Shout out to David Njoku for smelling good.
Yeah. Give him the Old Spice commercial. Well.
That was a bad whistle. All right. Why don't we get one more in there? Tight end 12. Sniper's tight end. Tucker Craycraft. How are we doing with Tucker Craycraft? Again, we're talking about a free pick here. At this point in the draft, you don't have a tight end yet. You've got basically all your starters and a couple of bench. Yet you waited this long for your tight end, and you still got someone like Tucker Kraft available. You've got Goddard available. You've got Ferguson available. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I think what you guys were just alluding to. I feel like you've got a lot more depth at this position later on, as opposed to spending up on McBride. I don't want to do that. I don't even want to spend up on Kittle. Although, again, what's wrong with Tucker Craycraft? Well, I mean, I can make the case what's wrong with him. What's wrong with him is that he's amongst 40 other people catching passes there.
Yeah,
and plus, Luke Musgrave will be healthier this season too.
Well, yeah, we'll let Sniper could chime in on that.
Yeah, well, I wish he could because I'm in the same boat. Musgrave is a freak of nature, and Tucker Craft season it was defined by one game in LA.
We
Mhm.
will.
Like I remember that game like it was yesterday. I mean, he was just absolutely killing us that day. And besides that, he was just, aside from that, he was just kind of one of the guys, a part of the Green Bay's kind of will there. You never knew when he was getting targets. You never knew when he was going to have a great game. Uh, and like I said, that one performance to me just kind of set it off for him. So I'm passing on him opposed to the guys like you said, like the Dallas Goddard's. I'll take Dallas Goddard. I'll even take a chance on a couple rookies before I go back
Yep.
in the Tucker Craft.
I'd take a chance on Jake Ferguson. I'd take a chance on Tyler Warren,
Mm-hmm.
close to Loveland. If I'm
I,
picking a second
So
tight end
aside,
right now, I'll reach for Terrence Ferguson.
that's not a reach anymore. That's
No,
that's number
unfortunately,
one.
it's not.
That's number one. It's not a reach. Number two, yeah, for me, it's definitely the target competition. Although Sniper's suggesting to, I believe, all three of us, if not just you, Rhino, and myself, that we should just
Yeah,
be watching. We should be watching Green Bay Packers tape.
she's
We should
she's
be
saying
watching.
that wearing a Green Bay shirt, jersey, and Green Bay pants or
No,
shorts
no sweats.
with her little Green Bay pom poms, going,
No sweats.
"Yay!"
yeah, I mean, I watch Green Bay type tape quite a bit.
I'll watch the Green
Just
Bay tape too.
yeah, like when I'm like right when I'm like it's like 11 o'clock at night. I need to go to bed. Like I'll watch Green Bay tape in a second.
It's,
No,
it's
if I want to watch Packer tape, I want to it's really for Jordan Love
mhm.
Yeah,
and to see like what at least attempt to see what he's looking at. And it wasn't a healthy season for him. We know that, but he did rely on Kraft often. Here's the other thing with Kraft. I think you mentioned this just before, Rhino Musgrave. Like Musgrave was supposed to be their tight end,
He got hurt. And there was
and
injuries in
but
there.
like
Yeah.
not, but like with like a broken kidney. So like I kind of feel like I don't know if Musgrave like I think he just may have been like permanently leapfrogged from that. I don't know if you take I don't think they reduce Kraft snaps just because now Musgrave is fully healthy. I don't know if that's the case, but it doesn't matter because there is another tight end there as well.
yeah. I just
Just
think
like you
he's
said, you
so
don't know.
yeah, but he's just so freaky. Like when you have somebody who's freaky like that, you give them all the opportunity in the world. 6'6" and blazing speed doesn't just show up every day. That's why somebody we haven't talked about yet. Kyle Pitts is never going to be just thrown to the curb. Like
Right.
Luke Musgrave is freaky. Like if the Titans in Green Bay get 100 balls this year, I don't see a scenario where Tucker Kraft gets 80 and Luke Musgrave only gets 20. Like it's going to be a lot closer to it being a 60-40 split
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, it's still that's just a split between the tight ends. That's not a
Yeah, that's what I'm
that's,
saying. So
that's not a situation I want to be in. We have enough of a headache. You want to talk about headaches? Trying to figure out Jaden Reed now, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs. We all know the band of characters
Mhm.
that are printed on Sniper's onesie, like the characters.
Yeah.
All
Drinking
right.
her water out of a Green Bay.
Rapid fire. You just mentioned him. Kyle Pitts, pass. I don't. It's not talent.
no, I don't
It's
know. I don't
it's
know what it is.
well. If it's not talent, it's got to be something else. It's his
I don't know
head.
what it
They've
is.
said
his
they
head.
said they need him to run better routes.
It's his head. Not every football player is professional. It's his head. I'm on record. Colston Loveland, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the new Sam Laporta.
Pass.
I would,
Is he getting drafted?
yeah,
Yeah.
10.2.
10.2. Wow.
I'm staring at right now. Actually, in reality, I don't think I will take a lot of Packers in my fantasy this year as I have enough headaches just watching them in reality. I get it. Of course, it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Tyler Warren. Another one.
Smash.
I'm smashing.
Smash.
Because of the AR news that he's ready to hit the ground running.
No, I'm just for me, I'm big on running quarterbacks and their tight ends. Running quarterbacks love their tight ends. So
No,
I like Tyler Warren for that reason.
And I watched enough of him last year in college games. Like, yeah, I trust what he'll do in the upper leagues.
Yeah, that too, but yeah.
Speaking more of my language right there. Pat Fryermuth? Pass.
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 How about Hunter Henry?
Smash.
Pass. Pass.
Smash.
Yes.
All right, last one. Rhino is going first. And I already know what he's going to say. Brenton Strange.
I am smashing.
Yeah, I knew that.
There's a reason why they let Ingram go.
Yeah,
They knew what they had when Bitten Strange. Yeah, I like Strange. Who doesn't like Strange?
it's very strange that Brenton is going in the second to last round on a team with a quarterback who relies on their tight end.
Mhm.
Now, why is this guy going so late? Oh, well, of course it's going to be all BTJ and it's going to be all Travis Hunter, of course. I'm not so sure about that. I bet you Brenton Strange carves out a nice little target share on that team. All right, guys. Fantastic stuff.
One more really quick.
Yes.
Mason Taylor. Smash.
Ooh.
Smash.
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 Like Gallagher smash.
That would be it. That would be a tight end that I would draft late around now. Yeah, absolutely. As the second guy behind someone like Andrews.
I drafted him in the 14th
Mhm.
in the Scott Fish Bowl.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a great pick.
Because based on the amount of flexes that you have, that's someone that you would want to have starting for you on a week in, week out basis.
Yeah.
Not when it's 4.5 points for every first down a tight end gets.
I'm not going to start him right away, though. I got to see what it's going to look like. You know?
Smash.
That's why
Smash.
we give you absolute experienced fantasy advice from experienced fantasy players like the three of us. It only takes one injury to mess up our leagues in all reality. I'm not sure if I fully buy that. I don't know if I want to buy that. It only takes one injury to mess up our leagues in all reality. It takes, if one bad injury to a key player happens on your fantasy team and your fantasy team is now losing games because of that one player's not in your lineup.
Yeah, draft very good.
Well, then where was that player? And again, let's not take running back, for example, because we have the handcuff for that. Let's say wide receiver. Let's say let's say it's Justin Jefferson. 2 years ago, had a hamstring strain, right? How many games did he miss? Missed about 4 or 5 games.
Yeah,
5?
4 or 6, yeah.
But if you had a wide receiver that you drafted later on, late in that draft, that wound up producing for you, maybe not the full amount, but wound up producing for you, I bet you were still in the thick of it. Still winning games, maybe losing here and there. Maybe you wound up being 500. I would have to take a look at the entire 2023. I would need an example of a draft to see like who could have been on that very same team with Justin Jefferson to give you a really, really good example, but
No, Mel. I have not. I've actually had since Saturday night I've had 2 picks.
There's this one guy that drafts with us. He the whole clock runs out, but we don't. And actually, we did tag him last season, and it still doesn't make a difference. It's all for charity. It's all for fun.
Yep.
Sniper, great stuff. JX, of course. Fire. Rhino, of course. Rhino's fire. We'll be back tomorrow.
You're fire too.
Yeah, you're fire.
You're the fire chief.
Yeah. I'm only as good as
Fuego.
I'm only as good as the company that I keep. I mean, like last year I had CMC and Pacheco. Well, you said one player. Now, if you're going to lose 2 and 3, if you're going to lose more than one player to injury, that's just some shitty luck. But CMC, you could have had Mason or Garendo off of free agency. That could have at least supplemented CMC. But then you lost Pacheco. That's going to be a tough scenario for anybody. That's lousy. That's shitty luck. Would you agree with that? I mean, like, if you're going to sustain multiple injuries on your team, it's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah.
One injury you could get away with, for the most part, if you drafted well, as Rhino said. We'll be back tomorrow night, Goats.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Good night.
Yeah. Go Cubs.
Wow, this guy's Cubs, Rams. What else? What am I missing? What's the bet? Which basketball team?
Well, it was Go Pacers, but they lost. So
Pacers.
no, Pacers are my team, but it's baseball season, so go Cubs. We'll get around to it.
We'll get around to it. In like a week, there'll be no more baseball. Baseball will be over with. I don't even go to the Yankee games anymore. Could you believe that?
What?
I don't go to Yankee games for different reasons. Yeah, I haven't been to Yankee Stadium. I didn't go last season. Oh, we were too entrenched here. We were too entrenched, baby. We were getting the fantasy goats ready to go. Way too entrenched. And Tank Dell. See, that's way too much. I wonder where you got the Tank Dell from. Rhino. All right, good stuff. Mel, see you later. See you tomorrow. Mel,
Yeah.
should we do a mock draft tomorrow? Just open up a can of worms. If not, no, let's get ready to fly Friday night. But we'll be back tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.